You guys can see that all okay, I hope. I think so. All right, let's kick it off and go through, and we'll discuss a few things as we go. All right. Are we clicking through? Yeah, we are. Hooray. There we are. Okay, recap on, that says August, but it's not. It's September. HTW data. The clock is actually September's clock. So you can see the recap is that the orange names in color, they've changed since August. Okay, so we have here the Ballina Byron Bay region that is different from the month before. And down here, Sydney has moved from approaching bottom to bottom of the market, and Mildura has moved up around. So that's the recap on that. And remember this this clock is sort of a bit of a roadmap for us, in the sense that on the right-hand side, that's the decline. That's where we're getting the discounts and the good buying. At the bottom, we're chasing those positive cash flow and prepping for development. Over here on the left, we sort of ride those waves of the market on development gains. And we explain all that in Xenium Action Compass. We also talked last week about the office clocks. So this is about office as opposed to, petrol stations. This is the office. And this is a good indicator just as to see how the CBDs in our capitals and in our towns are going. And you can see here there's quite a lot of colour. So there's a lot of movement in the office clock as opposed to only a few movements on the housing clock. All right, the Xenium Action Compass, we want to make sure that we're in there. And as I said, over here, we transpose the information from HTW, and we look over here on our clock and we're saying, okay, all those towns over there we're looking at on the falling market and the carnage. Down the bottom for that positive cash flow and construction. And on the left-hand side, we're riding that wave in development. So we'll skip through that. Also a reminder to check your Palazzo de Wealth. Where are you at? Make sure you update your Xenium, the cycles and action and market section up here every month with the HTW clock. You want to update that every month. So the Phil Anderson clock doesn't change. We discussed that last month. That's always there. Xenium Action Compass doesn't change, but the HTW does. And you need to make sure you update that every month over there. And also, it's always a good time to review monthly, not change your strategy, but make sure that all your things down, your foundation stuff down the bottom is in place. And is there anything there that is come up for renewal this month, whether it's some insurance, as a health, car, whatever, and just go through, make sure they're covered, or is there better rates, better options to have, all your foundations are in order. Okay, on to the stuff in the evening that we all love talking about. One of my faves, the discounted buying section over here on the right of Xenium Action Compass. So Geelong was in there as one of the spots that HTW says that's in a downturn. So we pulled some data for you. We're going to have a quick discussion on that. This house here, just an average looking house, started at a ridiculous price. We were a bit hard to get the exact price. Was it 700? Was it 770? I'm not sure, but let's call it 700. Now it's dropped 1% pretty much for every 10 days on the market to a final sale price of 590. So somewhere over 700 it was listed. It was probably like 750. Okay. And it's finally sold down at 590 grand. That was in 159 days. So, it's what, half a year. Okay. And that's a fair time on market too. We're looking at capitals at the moment ranging around that 60, between 55 to 80 days. We're looking at double that. Easy double that in Geelong. So if you are looking for property in a discounted area, you're wanting to buy a discount, don't just go down the street and buy something near you unless you live in Geelong or one of the other places that are in that state of the cycle. Get to the right parts of Australia that have the right discounts. Every market in Australia is different. Make sure you know it. Okay? Make sure you are aware of what's going on and what's happening in each market. So right now, if you're looking for something and this area fit the bill for you, then there is some good buying to be had. That's over a 15% drop in price just in the listing price change in half a year. That's a big drop. That's a real big drop. Now, I'm not saying that we would necessarily buy that house. I never inspected that house. We're looking at raw data. But what I'm saying is, if someone was looking for discounted property, then this and a few of the other areas that we mentioned last week in our update would be exactly where we'd go look for discounted buying. And we would go to those areas and we'd look for this type of thing that is just absolutely the seller needs to get out of, and we go and buy it. And that's what we do, and that's what Xenium is all about. A reminder we touch on every month is our impact investing model, which is all the next strategies we talk about, which is we're investing money from projects and active capital transactions. So what's an active capital transaction? Well, that's a transaction where you're getting in and you're getting out. So whether you're in with partners in a development site or a JV or something like that, or you're in with yourself, like doing a duplex or a construction, and with a view to sell it in 12 months' time and rip that money out of the market, pay your taxes, and then that profit you make goes on to those properties that we spoke about before in the discounted buying section. So you're not investing your capital in the properties with a discount, you're investing your profits that you've made from the capital you're using elsewhere. And that's really important to try and understand that strategy. Definitely that's something that is specific to you. We need to have a discussion on that. If you want to have a discussion on that, you need to put it up in the comments box or contact us via our email details that are associated with the video that you're watching now. All right, positive cash. Also one of my faves. In fact, they're all faves in my strategies, otherwise they wouldn't be here. But yeah, positive cash flow. All right, it's what I started out doing. It's what I like doing. So Brisbane is at the bottom of the market, and it's definitely for positive cash flow at this point in time. So Brizzy, what do we got here? We have a $607,000 brand new dual key dwelling. Okay, it's a bit of a mouthful. Essentially, that's the rent there. You can see on the screen $710 to $750, which is a 6.2% yield. Okay, so we're looking at bank interest rates somewhere in the low to mid, depending on you personally, whatever, but definitely more the mid threes at the outer. And we're looking at a 6.2% yield. So that's a brand new property. There won't be much maintenance. There will be fees for rental management and rates and all that sort of stuff. But as a return on your capital, that is probably looking not too bad. And that's something to consider. Now, why we often get asked why we do new construction or why we focus on new construction for our positive cash flow. Well, we can go and buy positive cash flow on an existing property, but you'd have to make sure you're across the maintenance side. So there's plenty of options on that, but you'd really want to make sure that your maintenance was up to spec. Otherwise, that's on residential. Otherwise, the cash flow I would be looking at would be commercial industrial style properties. And that is something that we definitely do with our clients, what we talk about in Xenium. So when we're buying for buy and hold on cash flow and you didn't want to do a new property build like this, then we would definitely go and look at an established commercial property. Okay. Another one in Brizzy, because Brizzy is at the positive cash point in the market as we prepare for development. So positive cash and construction development is all what we're looking about there at the moment. We've got a Launton, which is on the north side, dual dwelling. It's a really unique property, this one. It's quite small. It's virtually the price of, it's actually a bit cheaper almost than a normal house, but you're getting that extra rent. So we're going to see more and more and more of this type of dwelling. So while the figures on this look good and perhaps even better than the last one, the entry price is low. What the thing to look at here is the layout. And I know it appears fairly small on your guys' screen, so I'll walk you through it. So on the left-hand side here of this building, it's all one building. So it's a car accommodation on the bottom with kitchen dining, with stairs to 2 bedrooms and a bathroom upstairs. Okay, so consider it like if that was on its own, it'd be a villa or a townhouse or whatever you want to call it. On the right-hand side, they've essentially attached just a single unit, okay, with an ensuite and that sort of stuff. And that is what gets the extra rent. Okay, so this whole floor plan of the property is only, including the garage, 136 square meters. Like, it's not massive, but you're getting $600 a week rent out of 136 square meters. I mean, that's pretty crazy. That's fairly impressive. And I think we're going to see a lot of this style of property moving forward. I think there's a massive demand for 1 and 2 bedroom accommodation. I think there is for 3 and 4 as well, but I think there's an underlying demand for this type of accommodation that just has not been catered for. And depending on what area it's in, like Launton will be appealing to, there'll be some broken families or single people, some couples, and of course students with a new university in that area. So that's that's a fairly large appeal for that type of property. That yield is 6.8%, so $600 a week on a $460,000 turnkey package price. It's not too bad. Not bad. Positive cash flow. The other positive cash flow we've got in Brisbane is our rooming accommodation that we have a specialist rooming accommodation developer that does for us, only for our clients. Pretty special. Some of the income on that is very, very good. These are different to other projects in that you don't, even though they're a bit more expensive and verging on that sort of big duplexy / to a development project, they're not a development project. You do want to hold these things for probably a minimum of 24 months. There's a couple of reasons for that. And one of the things that you want to look at is, of course, buying these for the income that comes off the back of them. So, we're looking at about that 7%. So it does jump up a little bit when we get to the rooming accommodation. And once again, they are a brand new construction, so you won't have any issues with maintenance. Everything will be up to code and spec. So there's a lot of rooming accommodation that can be available, and it's converted old buildings or converted homes. So homes that were a 5-bedroom family home that someone's gone in and put little en-suites in each room, retrofitted it. There's no fire safety. There's no this. You got to be really wary if you want to touch that stuff. Okay, there are the odd old construction building that is there that has that was originally built for rooming accommodation or boarding houses or whatever, and they are better, but they're not necessarily cheap, and they're usually quite large. So some of them can have 12, 15 rooms, and they're just not going to be this price. So this is a really, really good option if you want cash flow in your portfolio. And the other advantage is it looks like a normal house. Some of those old rooming style houses, they looked like a rooming style house. These look like normal houses, and it's something to be really, really considerate of if you're chasing that cash flow. Those 7% returns there. It's all inclusions are done. Everything's there, turnkey. Little pin codes on each room for privacy for everyone who rents room by room. They're a very, very good setup. And the person who is behind that has a real passion to provide this type of accommodation for a specific market, and they're doing a fantastic job. And we're going to get him on to chat about that on one of our special guest episodes coming up shortly. All right, emerging markets, the khaki colour. I'm not going to say it's one of my fave because that's just too cliche. And realistically, it's in that point of transition, right? So they're a little bit, can do your head in sometimes because these appeal to the speculators, where the data is telling you one thing. The data is saying, come on, Scotty, go for it. Go and bet on this. Whereas your head is saying, you got to be kidding. That area is terrible. I'm not going there. So this is, again, we're talking about Mackay. Now, we've been talking about Mackay for like 4+ months now, 5 months. And the more we talk about it, the more it gets in the news. And it's not because we're talking about it. It's because what's happening is what we've been saying for months and months is actually now starting to come to pass. So we've got new house and land packages there. This is a speculative play in the sense that every piece of data that we've got says that Mackay is going to have a run in the next 12 to 24 months. If that is the case, and we're seeing it happen already, then these figures look really good and you would get in and you would sell out. That is the idea. So we've had 6% growth in 12 months in Mackay and 7.5% in the last quarter. Okay, so we are on a run in Mackay. I'm seeing blocks of land go up and up and up in price, trying to get builder pricings locked down. They're on a happy streak at the moment. The builders are like, oh, I'll just charge whatever. So you've got to have your contacts in place. Be my guest if you want to go and put this stuff together yourself. But I know how hard our team works on putting these together, and the people they've got to turn upside down and shake to make sure we get the right pricing. It's pretty daunting. So you've got to look for these emerging areas, okay? The other area that we don't have anything in, but we will next month, is Townsville. Now, Townsville does go like a yo-yo, and I'll discuss that in more detail in our mid-month market update in October. But if you catch Townsville at the right time, there's quite a lot of spend happening up there now, then it's not a bad option as well. But right now, Mackay is proving itself to be on a run. There is a lot of money being spent there along the foreshore, and the council's doing a bit of infrastructure and that sort of stuff. It's something to consider if you want to have a go, mate. All right. definitely one of my faves is, what are we in? Development. I was going to say residential development, but I like every type of development. So this one is a residential development in Brisbane. It's in a leafy suburb, and we've had this underway, and it's almost out of its DA time right now. So this is a very, very good project. We're starting to get interest from builders and that say, oh, what are you doing with that land? Yeah, well, look at that. So we know we're on a good thing. And this is one of our partner projects. So we can get we do get a whole bunch of people involved in this from our clients to also experience the fun along the way, get to learn some development, and take out the returns at the end. That's the most important part, isn't it? This one here, we've got our stage 1 funding done. We're up to our stage 2 because we're at that DA point now. So the development company is got an agreement with all the partners involved in that to be involved and pay you some return on your capital. The block sizes at the end are about 800-ish square metres. They're decent sized blocks, and we get to keep the existing house that's there. So, of course, that retains a lot of value in the project. We're looking at after just under 12 months now time frame. So we've got to get this DA out of council, which we're working on at the moment, and then we go to Opworks, and we're ready to rock and roll. This project is a very, very good project. I even had another developer approach me this week saying that they're between projects and they would look at putting in some cash in this. That's how good this project was. So they've given me the runaround on a bunch of questions, which is fair enough because we can answer them all. And they're coming back to us with their decision imminently. So the fees on this looks quite good. It's a nice fat amount of money we want in there. And it's not because we're chasing a lot of money. It's because I like contingency and I like backup plans. So the more margin, the better, because it means that the more safeguards and fat we have in it, the better it is for our clients in terms of security perspective. This is a partner project. You can be involved in it. Contact us for any more information on this or any other projects, because these things are very, very popular. All right, bonus property. I love chucking in bonus properties every month. So if you kind of get to know that you always get a bonus property, is it a bonus? Well, it is still a bonus. I'm a very giving person, so this is definitely a bonus. So this one, we're looking at a Northern New South Wales duplex construction. This is also a partner property project. So that means that you don't do it yourself. You're in it with a group of others, and we manage the project and we do all the heavy lifting for you. So there you go. So that is this one here. there's some good margin in this property project. You can come in with a little bit, you can come in with a lot. It only needs about $450,000 in terms of money put in to make it work. And that doesn't all come from one person. That comes from a group of people that come in on the right structures, and away they go. This is a pretty good project because it's only probably 10 months, so let's call it a 12-month project. And that's really, really a good time frame to get in, test your ability to weather a development project, and you're not waiting 3 years for your returns. So these are the sort of things that we do at Xenium. This is what Xenium is about. It's about getting in, using that capital of yours, that active capital. We're doing active capital transactions. We move it around in the market. It makes money. You take your returns and your profit and your capital back and pay your taxes, and then you go and decide what you want to do next. That is what Xenium is. Xenium is not just the webinars we do every week. It's not just the videos we put out there. It's actually doing, okay? And that's the important part with Xenium. You can tell all your friends about Xenium all you want and come and join and watch the webinars, but unless you're actually going to go and act on this, you're wasting your time. I'm not wasting my time. I'm doing this one to everybody who's watching this right now. But if you don't do anything, you're wasting your time. All right, I've got another bonus property. So that's how giving I am feeling in this month of September 2019. We have another duplex site up here. This is really, really hot off the press. I mean, that photo is so hot off the press. It was taken by Karen in our office as she drove her car around there like yesterday. And we've been madly compiling figures ever since. So with that in mind, there is some adjustment potentially for these figures, and I've really tried to dull them down quite a lot. But this one here is a project for you. So this is not a part project. This is a solo project. It's what we call a construction opportunity. So you would buy the land and you would engage the builder. And we would have it all set up for you. We help you manage it and all that sort of stuff. But you are taking on the finance risk. In the partner projects, the development company takes on the finance risk. And these projects, you're going to the bank and you're taking on that risk and signing all the documentation. With that in mind, this project is probably going to make, even if I cut that back, it's going to be 70 to 80,000 in a 12-month period for you. That's pretty good. I think that's okay. We definitely have that target of between 8 and 11% for our construction opportunities for our clients on the duplex projects. And that one fits that bill like to the T. Okay. The process is we tie the land up in your name or your entity or whatever. Make sure we go through due diligence on the soil of the land, all that sort of stuff. We make sure we get a fixed price build contract in there. We've got very good connections with the builders that we've priced for this already. And you get on there, you got your land contract, you got your build contract, you do your finance, they package it as a house and land package, and you go through the construction process, settle the land, do the drawdowns for the build, slab, frame, fit out, etc., etc., etc. Go through, you get to the final stage of the duplex construction and you sign off on it. That's it. You don't leave it empty, right? That's probably about the 9-10 month mark. You get tenants in, okay? Why are you getting tenants in? Then we strata title the duplex, getting it ready for sale. That property then is ready for sale and you'll be at the 12-month mark. We do it at the 12-month mark so that you have a capital gains deduction if that's applicable for you. Okay, whether it's in your name or in trust or company or whatever, you got to have that discussion with. We'll highlight what you need to talk about with your accountant and or financial planner or other type of person you want to talk to. But we really say bet on 12 months. That 12-month period, this project will look at approximately that $70,000 to $80,000 after you sell, after all costs. This property is right up the road from a school, and it will rent and sell very, very well. If you want to know more about that, hit us up in the comments or, of course, on the link in this video that you're watching now. And that's our last bonus property right there, I think. All right. So if there's any questions, we throw out some questions here. We know that you don't always watch this live. It is recorded, so you can always contact us via the links in the video that you're watching. If you are watching this and you are not a Xenium member, someone has secretly slipped you this amazing video production, then you need to be a Xenium member. You need to get on to xenium.property/join and join Xenium. Your life will be changed forever. And it's not just because you get to hear from me, it's because you get to be around a whole bunch of like-minded people. And all those questions that you think about answering don't get a chance to, someone else probably has asked and has got an answer to. We've got a question here. When will the blah blah land be available? The blah blah land is available now for a contract. It's a newly cut off piece of land. So the titles are estimated to come out in December, which is a pretty good time to look at settling and getting ready to bring on builders for the new year, because the longer we can get into December to settle, the more of that Christmas time that we get to miss. If we try and settle it now, we'd have like the full 4 weeks off over Christmas time, because this is Queensland and they are tradies and no one works in December and parts of January. All right, any other questions? If not, I will call that an evening, because we did start a little bit late. I like to wind it up, especially on time. As I said, any questions, hit us up at xenium.property and we'll be able to answer anything that you have there. All right, thank you very much for watching. I'm Scotty from Xenium Real Wealth, and I hope you have a great day. See you next time.